All right, so Emily, what are we doing here?
Cheers.
Yes. All right, so Emily, what are we doing here?
Cheers.
Yes.
Not a regular coffee stop. I had this idea that I wanted to let everybody know what I was doing and why I wasn't just riding, why I had started doing some cross training of swimming and running. There hasn't been so many DMs. I don't want to make out that I'm blowing up in the DMs, but there's been a few people who have been curious about what I'm doing, and I wanted to do it in the most creative way possible that I could do. And I thought, what better person to ask to help me tell this next chapter than Aiden. So yeah, we've got two funny guys.
One funny person and one dickhead. Hey, so give us, like, for anyone that stumbles upon this and they're like, oh yeah, I'll watch that.
Yeah.
Give us the cliff notes. Who's Emily Watts?
Yeah, so I'm 25 now, year-old cyclist. I currently ride until December 31st for Saint Michel, preference home or Bear 93. I competed in the Tour de France this year. I've been a professional cyclist for 2 years, and yeah, I'm stepping away from the sport at the moment, hence why we're doing this video. I'm a uni student, I study PE, teaching, hopefully going into that in the next few years.
And business studies.
And business studies, can't forget that,
Yeah.
and business studies. I'm a support worker at the moment for kids with disabilities. I have a partner, what else? And yeah, I'm changing sports currently.
We were joking on the way here about how that was my goals until I realised how hard a pro cyclist actually is. What are the highlights? Like, I mean, normally I'd say, like, if it ended now, what are the things that are the feathers in your cap? But, like, I guess to an extent it is ending now. What are you looking back on and saying,
That was like the best experience.
Yeah.
I think, like, I can't go back to like my very unexpected, well, it was unexpected for everybody else when I won the national championships in under 23s. I said the day before it that I wanted to attack early and I wanted to win, and everyone kind of thought that was crazy. So yeah, when I won the nationals, that's a big highlight of my career. And then again, the next year after, completely unexpected, winning the sprint against Ruby Rose McGannon in the Festival of Cycling, stage 1.
That'd be
Like,
crazy.
I didn't even know how to do a podium celebration. Like, finish line celebration. I had no idea what to do, so I just put one finger up and smiled. So like, it's just those moments that are so unexpected, I think, that are the biggest highlights. And yeah, the Tour de France is obviously a huge one of that.
No, I'm going to call you up on that because you said you didn't enjoy the Tour de France. You're lying here. Okay, so why V's hitting? This year you raced the Tour de France.
Yeah.
Most people would be looking at that and saying, that's a career high.
Yeah.
You finished,
Yeah.
which was a big thing for your team.
Yeah.
Why are you stopping?
Yeah, so I think it was obviously the team was in a difficult situation. I think with a lot of French teams and a lot of teams in this moment are folding, and we're at this weird point in women's cycling is that we're getting heaps of exposure and it all looks really amazing from the outside, and we're taking leaps and bounds and we're trying to mirror the men's cycling, but there's a lot of opinion saying that's happening a little bit too soon. And I think this is kind of one of the reasons when it shows that it is maybe happening a bit too soon, when there are teams that can't stay afloat with the money or the lack of money that's coming in, and continental level is becoming non-existent and unfortunately dying, well, I believe. So yeah, that's kind of just what happened. Is I did the tour, and like I said when we were riding, I didn't feel secure in, I thought that this was a year contract, I needed to do my best year, and I used it as just that it was a year. I didn't get any home decor.
Yeah, I was going to say, tell us about that, because you were saying like your apartment was German minimalist. In
Yes,
like the,
I had
like
a
table and a bed.
table and a bed, and then the kitchen was obviously a kitchen, but yeah, like my bedroom that I had, it was very minimal. I didn't want to buy too much home decor because this wasn't a done deal yet. And then I didn't change my mind on that until I was at the Tour de France and a few days in, and it was like, okay, I'm one of the 4 that's going to finish from Saint Michel in the Tour. And it just was really sad that the team decided not to sign me for the next year, and that happened maybe not in a very nice way, and it was 2 days post-tour.
Yeah, and when we were talking earlier, you were saying like you had done all of this media around it. You felt like you were ticking the boxes. They'd given you some KPIs.
Yeah.
And one of them was exposure, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know what the reach of this will be, but for those in Australia that were watching the Women's Tour de France, they would have seen you literally every day. Showing up in front of the cameras. No other Aussie was putting their face out there like that.
Yeah.
Was there ever any clarity around what happened? Because I know we sort of talked earlier and you'd said like at the start of the season, your classics season, you weren't hitting your KPIs there, and that was a bit disappointing. And they'd had a conversation with you, and they'd said these are the things that we want for the rest of the season, and you really threw yourself into that, and you felt like
that I did it.
Yeah, sorry for the Australian salutes. There are a lot of flies.
A lot of flies here.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely difficult when like you're processing the mental load and the physical load of the tour, and then I kind of got that thrown at me. And one of the KPIs that I had to reach was that I needed to fully commit to being a domestique more, which in turn means that I'm not getting results for myself anymore. So then when this decision was made and I thought I met these KPIs of getting exposure, so it was difficult when I thought I'd met the KPIs, and then it was really hard to get a new team with only domestique results. Okay,
so from there, like obviously that's a bit of a kick in the guts. Was there any putting feelers out to other teams?
Yeah, I didn't give up. I think what I kind of wanted, like when the decision was taken out of my hands that I had to change teams and had to find a new contract, I just went like, what's bringing me joy? What do I really want to be doing? And I had many conversations with my dad, who was back in Australia, who's my sounding board for everything. I call him, he's my, what is he called? My like advisor. He had a job title for a while because he was just like everything. Like he was my assistant coach. He was my sounding board for everything. Like I call or text him every day.
Yeah.
Like I call him more now I'm in Australia than I did when I was overseas. And he's just like 2 hours down the road. And we kind of just like, okay, let's take a decision that has been taken out of your hands and take the control back in. And I decided I'm 25. I have an almost degree. I have been living this life of luxury. I was a professional cyclist, but I haven't been saving much. There's not a lot of money in this sport. What do I really want to be? What do I want life to look like for next year? So then I said to my agent, I don't want a contract unless it's this much money and it's at this level. And I accepted at that time, if that happens. If that doesn't happen, I have to step away from cycling.
Yep.
And I remember the conversation with my dad vividly. I was walking around Mercadona getting my groceries with my aftershocks in, talking about this decision endlessly with my dad. And I go to him, you know what, my life's gonna be amazing if I am a professional cyclist, but my life is gonna be fucking amazing if I don't be a professional cyclist.
Yeah.
Because the way I've set up my life is perfect back home. Like I've set it up.
I guess this is probably a good point to go through. What were you sacrificing? Like what got left to the side so that you could focus on this career? I guess what were those things that you had set up in life that you then felt like you really had to put on hold?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing you put on hold is family and friends. And I think it's a big reason for the decision, and what made it a lot easier was I was going back to my partner.
Yeah.
Like I had been living for the last 2 years, and even 3 years ago, there was quite a few months we were away from each other. I'd been living 7 to 8 months away from him.
Yeah.
So when that gets taken away and it's like, well, I can live with him now 12 months of the year.
And he seems like a legend. Like I've seen your Instagram and he was coming over to Spain for that, but I mean, it costs a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's the biggest sacrifice that gets taken. Obviously there's a huge financial sacrifice, and then even more so now that we're going so fast now and the races are getting really quite dangerous. You're putting your body on the line every day.
Yeah.
There's a huge amount of sacrifices just in that, and then it's again even your physical health, but then your mental health. You're living and breathing cycling, as I said before. So yeah.
Yeah, and we were talking about that on the ride and sort of joking about how my current bunch is getting faster, and you said that's what it's like racing the Tour de France. Just like, why are we going so fast? It must, I guess, be nice to know, like, obviously, and we'll get to where you're shifting into, but every single person I talk to in the women's peloton is like, every year you front up to a race and you're like, how is it this much faster? I mean, men's similar, but the women is just coming leaps and bounds. It must be nice to know that, like,
it's kind
you don't have to be in that arms race anymore.
It's fine.
So one thing that you did touch on before we move on to sort of your future, I guess it's something that I'm interested in. You mentioned women's cycling and the lack of a Conti scene. One thing that I'm worried about is that there's so much focus on this top end and so much money going to the top end that it could potentially be a bubble. Is that something that is real, or is that something that...
See, that's a big reason for part of my decision as well. I knew I could get a continental team. There's plenty of continental teams that I'm sure are great, but continental teams, the new rule that's coming in for next year, can't race World Tour races. And I needed to get World Tour exposure to be to get into the World Tour. So I think that's where this bubble is going to be interesting, is that the coverage is majorly going to be Pro Conti and World Tour. I don't think continental sponsors are going to be getting the exposure and the give back of their money that they're putting in. So I think, it's going to be difficult to see where the next few years hold.
So then, what? Like the whole point, when you reached out to me, we had a chat on the phone, and I sort of said, "What do you want to get out of this?" And you said you just want people to know that it's not that you've given up. There's a shift. And if people have been following Emily closely, you'd probably know what that shift is, because it turns out she's pretty good at it. But what is that shift?
So this was always the plan. After cycling, I was going to do triathlon. Like, my dad always knew it. He put aside all my triathlon stuff when I was younger. And this was going to be the plan, that I was going to take on triathlon after it was a professional career. It just happened a lot sooner than I wanted it to, probably. But it does mean that I'm now in the prime of my career, and I can hopefully boss another sport. I'm super fit at the moment. I actually have shoulders and all these muscles that I never knew existed, all these pains in my shoulders from swimming. It's basically just, I wanted to take the steering wheel on my life. I didn't want someone else dictating where I could live, how much money I was earning, what I was doing, what I could, how much time I could spend with my family, what I had to train. I think professional cycling looks so sparkling, and professional sport in general looks so amazing from the outside. And it is amazing in the inside, but sometimes it is just all consuming, and I just wanted to take the driver's seat. And with triathlon, I can now have Team Watts. My mum hadn't seen me race except in Australia for the Tour Down Under. So my mum hadn't seen me race for 8 months or something. She didn't get to come over to the tour, and my mum got to see me race a triathlon. So I think, and my boyfriend...
Which you won.
Which I won. So my boyfriend hasn't seen me race. So it's these special moments that I've missed so much, I can now do again. And it comes with a bit of uncertainty, but it's really exciting.
I think for someone, what's been cute for me is, watching you on Instagram going for runs with your boyfriend riding the bike alongside you. I guess you've almost got that person who's your biggest support is now able to
come and join,
this to an extent.
Exactly. And now he's running, and it's just like I said to someone, I think I said it to my boyfriend actually, I was like, you've seen my dad as a professional, as a cycling dad. I was like, wait until you see him as a triathlon dad. I was like, it's on steroids. This man, knows no bounds. My bike is kitted out for a reason. Dad knows no bounds.
I did, actually, I think, was it before the Husky that you and your dad were fine tuning your bike and putting the skis on and stuff? That was awesome. My dad has, bless his heart, he has no interest in cycling at all. He wishes I don't think he can understand why I've picked this and I didn't pick golf. And I think it breaks his heart. He's like, we could have such a thing.
Such a fun time in golf.
You can be just as obsessed with golf. Like, you can dump just as much money into it. But yeah, he's got no idea what's going on. Even less with triathlon.
Yeah.
But so amazing. And then what is the plan? What does it look like being a pro triathlete? One of the things that you did say was that the training is actually less intensive. Like you were doing 5-hour, 6-hour rides, but now that's a bit less.
Yeah.
What's the journey to pro for Emily Watts look like?
Yeah, so I've got a coach, and I'm just being a professional triathlete, that's what I say. I'm an amateur athlete training like a professional triathlete.
One of the benefits of getting dropped halfway through a season is that Emily is being paid by
I am as Saint Michelle
to be an amateur triathlete at the moment.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's really good. The journey is that I'm just going to keep doing this. I'm going to do my university. I'm going to graduate at the end of next year, hopefully, do casual teaching. And the goal at the moment is do my first half Ironman in Geelong. And the goal is to win my age group.
And when's that?
It is in end of March.
Okay.
So solid 4 months left. Yeah, 4 months almost. So it'll come super soon.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm super excited. It's just learning this new community of people and the fans, and it's just moving my body in a different way and finding challenges in a different way as well.
So the new community is actually super dirty about Emily being, she went to her local triathlon club and they were all sort of asking, why are you here?
Yeah, why am I here?
So you go back to France or Spain. So so I guess for people that don't know, because everyone kind of knows the path to professional cyclists, you get picked up by a team.
Yeah.
And you grind until you get picked up by a team, then that team pays you, they organise all the stuff. What's it like in triathlon? How do you become a professional triathlete?
So you basically just win one of the races they deem a professional level race by enough time, and you send in your application, and then they either give you your professional license or they don't.
Yeah.
So it's completely different to cycling, basically. I guess kind of similar.
And that's just based on your numbers?
That's just based on, your result. You either get that, and then you get to start in the pro wave, and then you basically can get prize money, and there's quite a bit of prize money in Ironman, which is really nice.
Yep.
You can get more cred with sponsors and stuff like this.
And is the goal for Ironman, or are you, I know the Geelong one's a 70.3, is that what it's called?
70.3. So initially, I think it'd be really cool. I just want to do one in my life.
Yep.
And I think Kona would obviously be amazing.
Yep.
I think that's a bucket list thing. I have gone to Kona when I was a triathlete as a holiday with my parents.
Yep.
And that was super cool. And I was like, I'm going to be here one day.
Yeah.
So I would like to be there one day. That would be awesome. But I think judging off my fitness and my anatomy and what I'm really good at, I think the half distance is going to be what is going to be really suited to me. I just think that running 42Ks is going to be just the run. It's a civilized distance. The run, it's just mental.
Yeah, I personally, so I've done a marathon.
Oh wow. More than me.
It sucked. It was awful.
Yeah.
And I personally think the ideal running distance to still be able to call it a fun run is a half marathon.
Yeah, it's 20. Yeah, I agree.
It's that little bit, it pushes you. You tell people I did a half marathon on the weekend, they're like, wow, you must be so fit. Whereas if you do 15Ks, 21Ks is like, oh, okay. So it's enough to flex at work on the next day, but you haven't wrecked your body. Yeah,
exactly. It's more wrecking the body, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so with that, I guess, is there anything that you would like to leave out there before you close this chapter of your life? How are you feeling about Saint Michelle?
I think it's like you only hold you're the only one holding animosity, and that's taking your energy. And I'm as people know, I'm a very positive person, and I think maybe I was toxically positive for some of my cycling career. I saw the good in everything and thought it was all bubbles and rainbows, and it was, oh my God, I'm a pro cyclist.
Yeah. Or like, how would you close the book if you were to sort of write the end of this chapter? If you were writing a book, what would be the last line?
Oof.
Or what would the last chapter look like the summary of your book?
I'm just so grateful that I got this experience and got to meet so many amazing people. And what I really want to do going into my next chapter is give that back as well. And I think it is a shame that I'm not like growing old in the sport, because I know when I was younger, I looked up to those young girls that were at nationals and like sought advice from Ashane Kudinoff, and you know, those riders were the ones, and Sarah Roy and all these riders were the ones that I would go to and like would get my mentoring from. So I am really like disappointed that I'm not going to be growing old in the sport and be that for some young girls. So I kind of like shifted it a little bit. Chloe Buckley is a young girl. She just, I don't know if I can't say what team she's in, but she's in a team that's very close to my heart for next year on the Pro Velo League. And yeah, we've been doing monthly chats, and I'm going to be just mentoring her, and hopefully that spreads to good things, and hopefully I end up mentoring a few more other girls. But I basically, I don't want to close out my cycling chapter. I want to keep continuing it and giving back to those young girls that want to be a professional cyclist.
Is there any chance that you'd line up at a nationals again as a just without a team, just to see what happens?
I think if it went away from Perth,
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
Unfortunately, if there's any Perth listeners, I just think
if you're listening to this,
if it went back to,
no one wants to go to Perth.
If it goes back to Buninyong, sure, I would do it. You just can't do Perth without a team as well.
No.
Like it's very team. It's a team course. You need to have a lot of tactics involved.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, no, unless it goes to Buninyong. But I will be there. I will be in Perth, guys.
And SBS. The commentary still going on next year?
Yeah. So I've built a really good base with them, fortunately. I didn't think that I had built enough base. But they want my bubbly attitude and my extrovertedness. So SBS, you're going to be seeing me a bit more.
Beautiful. All right. Well, Ems, best of luck.
Thank you.
And thanks for asking me to do this.
No, thank you for joining me on this silly video if you're still watching.
No, we've done, she's told me I've got to do a ride today, and I should probably address this. This isn't an attempt to rip off the cafe ride.
No.
This is an accident. I have my Christmas party later, so we couldn't go back and do it somewhere. And Emily had to knock out a training ride. So it's like, well, I'll come on the training ride, but then it's really hard to hold a camera and a microphone to interview on the bike. So it's like, we have to stop somewhere. So Matt Stevens, we're not trying to rip off your ride. Don't come at us with some copyright strike. It's just, this is just the best way that we can do it. And with that, thank you for watching.
Thank you guys. Ciao.